What up, everyone? Welcome in. A changing of the guard in college football, a new Super Bowl favorite. But are they really the fifth best team in the country? All this, game picks, Ward's wagers, and more. Next.
It's the worst.
Beyond the Texans?
Yes.
Giants?
Yes.
What up and welcome in. Do us a favor. Like, subscribe, comment on the show's official pages on TikTok and YouTube at FCFS Pod. FCFS Pod. If I didn't say it correctly, I will slow it down for you. I'm Jeremy Somerville, and unlike your favorite fantasy player in your roster this week, I am here, not on bye like a member of NSYNC. And now to introduce the Justin Timberlake to my JC Chazé, Mr. Drew Ward.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. How are you? Happy to be along you again here on this great Thursday evening.
Dude,
any football going on tonight?
No, I don't think there is any football going on tonight.
Okay.
Nothing. Right. Maybe some action. No, I'm kidding. We got a 0-0 barn burner there on the shores of Lake Erie there at Huntington Bank Field. The lovely
gross
Huntington
night to be
Bank
out
Field.
there as well, honestly.
Listen, dude, I left work at 7. No, I left work at 7:55. I literally walked in the second I sat my fat ass in this chair because people have never seen snow in their fucking lives. You live in Northeast Ohio. You've done this before, and every time it's the first snow, it's like, what the hell is going on?
We should be pros. We should be pros at this point, but.
And then I'm swerving like I'm Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious, humming some.
There's always like every time I'm driving, there's always like one big like pickup truck that like not only is he's gonna go the speed limit, he's gonna push it. Like he's gonna go 15 over the speed limit just because that's who he is. Meanwhile, everybody else, like we might take it 2 to 5 miles an hour off and just kind of make sure we're doing things correctly. But there's always that one guy, and it's always in a pickup truck.
Dude, I was following along, going about 45, and you would have thought I was going 145. It was ridiculous. Let's get into it. Last week first. Drew, last week, your Lions, they covered a massive spread easily. The Cowboys looked dreadful, and their stadium fought them back for talking shit the week before. The Bills beat the Chiefs. Georgia beats Tennessee. LSU falls to Florida. Kansas beats BYU, and the Falcons get blasted by the Broncos. All kinds of other stuff happened. From last week, what were your likes and dislikes?
I mean, the first thing that stands out to me is what the Denver Broncos did. So, like, Atlanta's been playing good football, and Jeremy's really talked shit about Bo Nix for a long time. I've never said anything bad about Bo Nix.
All I do is hate on Bo Nix.
So it's like, but I feel like they're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. Like that's a fun team, and what they did against that Atlanta offense is pretty impressive. That one stood out to me. Of course, the Lions stood out to me. Thrashing teams. And it's fun right now, but I don't get overly excited. Like a win's a win, doesn't matter if it's by 40 or not. But yeah, the funny story is the Dallas roof just falling apart. You got the sun, you got the roof, like, and I feel like maybe I'm like the dad here, like the old, like that could have fucked somebody up if it fell on somebody.
That's a big piece of sheet metal coming down from a long way.
I'm like, man, I sound like just like my dad. Like, oh, somebody could have gotten hurt out there. Like, but I mean, that it looked huge on TV, which makes you know that it's even bigger in real life when you're actually on the field.
Dude, they talked shit about the stadium the week before in the sun, and then stadium's like, I wasn't kidding when I said it. Like, stadium's like, you know what, Jerry, we tried to kill you on the show last week. Let's kill it.
They put up curtains for the Jake Paul fight, which was at like 11:30 at night.
Well, allegedly they have those all the time for concerts.
But
But Jerry's like, not when my football team plays. When the football team plays, ain't no curtains up there. They ain't
and
gonna
he's
do
like,
that.
oh, it should be an advantage because we play here. Dude, if the sun's in your eyes, like that's not like an advantage or disadvantage. You just can't see like that. It's you know what I mean. It's not like, oh, my players are real great at being able to pick the ball up while they're blind. No, it's just not necessarily how it works.
Listen, boys, here in the weight room where we basically treat it like a zoo and we got glass and tours going on during the game days, you're gonna use your eyes. We're gonna work out them eyes so you can see the sun. Jerry's absolutely batshit crazy. I thought, the Bills beating the Chiefs was pretty good. Bills always seem to beat them in the regular season. Let's see if they can do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, we both like the Bills in that spot.
Yeah.
I think the Bills are a better team right now, honestly. I really do.
They are. But once it comes to playoff time, it doesn't seem anyone can beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are like, hey, we find a way to win. But we'll see. We'll come up. Georgia. Dude, Carson Beck looked like an actual quarterback. He actually ran. Rather than throwing the ball into traffic, he looked like a quarterback and ran, which I hated to see because I can't stand his stupid face. And hey, they're shirtless idiots out in Cleveland right now at the game. Never fails. But anyway, I mean, Falcons, dude, like you said, like that team makes no sense to me.
No, because they like
good.
Kirk Cousins can get humming. They have weapons everywhere offensively. Like they really do. And Kyle Pitts has actually become like a real player this year. But like for them to go put up 6 points, and it's not like a team that you're expecting to boat race you. I mean, clearly Denver has a great defense, but like at the same time, it's you can't go lay an egg like that, and in a division that nobody wants to win.
Yeah, and I think it sets up the Buccaneers if Mike Evans coming back to eventually take that over. But Peyton's putting on a coaching clinic in some of these games. The way his screen game works, the screen game looks unstoppable. It makes it easy for Bo, and fantasy players have to hate Sean Payton right now because everyone's like, oh, pick up Audric Estime. Pick up Audric Estime. And he's like, hey, remember Javonte Williams? Yeah, he's going to get in the end zone this week. That's what they've been doing. And BYU, the team who lost almost to Utah, finally loses a game. And I bet you they're going to lose this week. We'll talk more about them later.
The magical run's over.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Let's move on to headlines. Let's keep the show going here. Joe Douglas fired by the Jets. Month or so after Robert Saleh's fired. They're 3-8. Comes out that Woody Johnson's taking meetings with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, and then he's like, I don't like what you're saying. I'm going to bring more people in here. And now they're getting leaks where it's talking Woody Johnson wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers in favor of Tyrod Taylor, which insane in itself. I mean, look how long Joe Douglas was there. He was there from the early days of Adam Gase. Like, I looked at that, and I'm like, that can't be the case. And we all know Adam Gase had the best press conference in New York of all time.
The Adam Gase taco, like the coked out eyes, was crazy. But Joe Douglas has done nothing but just hire shit coaches and build shit rosters.
And you look at it, he's gotten some talent. Quinnen Williams, hell of a player. Quincy Williams, hell of a player. Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall's supposed to be good. Garrett Wilson, still waiting for that to happen on a consistent basis. I mean, he picked up some solid players, but then he drafted players like Mekhi Becton. There were other misses he completely had. He had a lot of draft picks, and we had Harrison Glazer, who's a big Jets fan. Jets Flight on Twitter, I believe. I can't remember it. Follow him, Harrison Glazer.
He's got to be in a deep state.
He's got to be losing it. I didn't even want to reach out to him for this right now because he was the biggest Joe Douglas fan ever when he came on our show. And 30-64 later, they are firing him. They're moving on.
Yeah.
The Jets starting over, and they've got to hurry because Woody Johnson's going to end up taking another cabinet position here with Trump back in office. And maybe that's a good thing because Woody's always in the way. But then when his brother was there, he's like Woody actually said to Robert Saleh, I didn't hire you, my brother did. Like, not my fault. Whatever. This organization's an absolute mess. Who wants to go there?
Robert Saleh, though, he's a fine coach. Like he's not terrible. Like
no.
A lot of the and you and I talk about it all the time. Like we saw with Oakland last year, we see with teams all the time that you fire a guy, the team gets fired up, and they actually win some games. And like this has been the opposite. Robert Saleh is known for his defense, and the defense has gone from somewhat average to above average when Robert Saleh was the coach to absolute dog shit, and the offense has stayed the same. So I guess at this point you just blow everything up and hope for the best. But let me ask you, better situation, Jets or Giants? dude.
I want to lean. I want to say Jets because you're going to get to pick your own quarterback. You're going to get to move in there. You're going to get the guy because Aaron's probably going to retire. He does not look good this year. You actually have a defense. I mean, Giants have a defense too. And then it's like Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Tyrone Tracy looks pretty good. Breece Hall was supposed to be good.
I think Breece Hall.
Are they the same team?
I don't
Jesus,
know.
after I just did that, they're the same damn team. Just one has Aaron Rodgers and expected to be good.
So like I was.
What the hell kind of?
I was like, this is like.
Kind of gypsy are you tonight?
It's a tough decision. It really is. I feel like I lean the Jets as well because of Sauce and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, but like they got Tyrone Tracy, they got Malik Neighbors, like that defense is good. So like,
yeah, and they got Sexy Dexy.
It's like I don't really know. Like I don't know. I would
That's
say that the
team.
Giants have been better over time. The Jets have just been bad for forever.
Jeez. There's a hell of a curveball. Look at you. Bravo. This is what a pro does. Completely. I'm talking about it like out loud. I'm saying, yeah, Jets have this and this and this. I'm like, Giants have the exact same damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Both bald head coaches at one point.
Yeah. Brian Dable's fired too.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they had Danny Dimes playing like safety at practice today.
Could be his best position.
That was like a real report from like
I
thought I was getting like the fake Adam Schefter reports, but like they had his ass back there. Like, why are they? So they make him the fourth stringer, which makes no sense. It's like, okay, whatever. But then you make him play safety in practice, and then you pay Drew Lock like real money as the backup quarterback, and then you go to Tommy. I don't know how you do it. The
Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah, Tommy Cutlets. Yeah. Yeah, like what? Like that's not even. They're not even. They're clearly tanking. They're not even trying. Yeah. I don't know, dude. That and I say that because I'm like, that's a dog shit organization too. I'm trying to like get myself with. I can't. I honestly can't pick one.
And we got Tommy Cutlets versus Cooper Rush next week.
Yeah,
on Thanksgiving. We got Cutlets on Thanksgiving, baby. Let's go. And hey, a guy who I mentioned last week I could see taking that job was Deion Sanders, but Deion today got the number 2 overall recruit in the recruiting class for 2025. A guy who reclassified.
Dude.
I don't think he does either. I mean, maybe he's really a man of his word. And now you get Juju coming in there, Juju Lewis, who was a 2026 guy, reclassified. He's only 17. He decommits from USC and then goes to Colorado.
And you got Miss Peggy, 100 years old in press conferences. You can't put a price tag on Miss Peggy.
I mean, what's this mean for Coach Prime and Lincoln Riley? Is this a new era? Is this a changing of the guard? Like Lincoln Riley and USC has tons of NIL money. Colorado has some, but not the same amount as what USC can do. And this kid's with David Muleta.
Do you think you could build up like NIL equity like a USC has at Colorado? Like, I don't know like how the donations and things work, like on a tax level or like a legal or illegal level. But like I could see like that team being solid, and they are this year. Yeah. Like that, like they bring in a lot of NIL money and they can fling it around. I just don't know if like maybe the boot, because I'm guessing this is all booster money, right? I always hear about boosters. Who the fuck are boosters? Who are these boosters? They're just like at their house and rich. And like, I'm gonna boost exactly. It. They're like, I'm gonna boost it plus 2%, and they hit a button, and there goes $20,000.
Prime goes, hey, I need $1 million for this player. They probably do it. I mean, they want him to stay around. He's making that program tons of money. We haven't talked about Colorado since Rashawn Salam and Michael Westbrook were there. And we were little kids back then, riding bikes and skinning our knees. And now my knees just hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long time. Cordell Stewart era. I mean, a long, long time.
I always remember like the, what was it, like the neck thing with Cordell Stewart? He always had like that.
The turtleneck looking?
What? No, like there was like a thing on his neck.
A mole?
Yeah, the mole on his neck.
I don't
think that's
remember
what
it. I
was.
just remember hating him because he was a Steeler.
Dude, you gotta look that shit up, dude. Because you got me thinking I'm acting crazy. He had like a mole on his neck. I feel like it always threw me off.
Okay, you're gonna have to go to our TikTok at FCFS Pod. I'm gonna edit this video to include Cordell Stewart's neck.
Yeah, he's gonna have like the most normal neck ever, and then people are gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy?"
He's gonna get tagged. We're gonna get sued by Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart's like your defamation. Like, why are you talking shit on my neck?
Find out it was cancerous, and we're gonna feel awful.
Oh.
We had to have it removed. I mean, we killed Jerry Jones last week. You made fun of a Make-A-Wish kid on a draft show. We've done some crazy things.
I'm not perfect. No one is.
No,
right?
Hey, you know what the best thing about this show is? We have an outline of what we're gonna do, and we do probably
veered
46%
so hard.
That's what we do.
I don't know if we got that.
But hey, we have a damn good time doing it. So Coach Prime's staying. Lincoln Riley going to stay at USC. Is like this a sign that maybe he's not going to be there going forward?
Lincoln Riley feels different, like because he's clearly moved around, right? Like he's had no problem like jumping from a team to a team because I mean he had a great situation when he was with the SEC.
Yeah.
I take that back.
They were Big 12.
Big 12. Yeah. So I mean, I could see him moving more than Dion, but it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, Dion could definitely leave, but it's like I'm not getting that. Like, it feels like he's kind of enjoying being a college coach.
I mean, Michael Irvin kind of hinted at it that he heard from a close source who, I mean, but
how much cocaine was he doing that night? Like we can't take Michael Irvin for a source.
The playmaker. Anyway. Speaking of college, it's the same day that Juju Lewis commits to Colorado. Bryce Underwood, the number one player in this class, who was committed to LSU and said LSU's home in January. He decommitted, and he committed today and said, I'm home to Michigan, the Wolverines. They've got a quarterback. I mean, I wonder how much money they paid. Buckeye Scoop was talking $8 million at one point. I believe it was on Twitter, but I don't know if that was sourced or if it was just someone in their fan page. Lots of money going that way. Doubt it. His NIL valuation per on 3 was $2.1 million. Either way, kid got paid to switch from the SEC to the Big Ten. Good for him. Making money. All right, yeah. Chiefs lost. Who's the best team in the NFL right now?
Detroit.
Can't argue that.
I mean, it might next week could be different. Right. But like right now, I mean, Detroit's just whooping the shit out of teams. And when they throw 5 picks and play their worst football, they still win on the road. So like,
that's exactly what I was about to say. Talk about the Chiefs. They always find a way to win.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's team doing the exact same thing. How do you throw 5 picks and win? That's still amazing. And we're still 0-0 here at Huntington Bank Field. And every time the Steelers go to kick a field goal, they either get sacked to push it back or they call a false start, push it back. Let's see if they make this next one.
Let's be honest. I'm not actually watching the game. I'm watching Gamecast. This game sucks.
This game is only good to me because, well, I like the Browns and I hope they beat the Steelers. And this is the last game I really want them to win, kind of. But at the same time, I've got like 64 fucking bets on this game. Just random little props. I was bored at work.
Can I give you a little update stats-wise?
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's 1 for 3 for 8 yards.
Okay.
Russie. 10 for 10 for 128.
Nice. You know, Jameis Winston has never played in weather below 40 degrees.
I did not.
Ever. Never. And apparently he has small hands, which I learned today. He's got 9 3/8 or something. Exactly. So, you know, he could lose the ball.
Goff had small hands.
When the ball gets wet, Jared Goff plays all his games indoors. So,
yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Rigging it for the Lions.
College football playoff, Drew. Anything stand out to you this week?
Not really. I honestly, it's fucking confusing, dude. The way that they set it up is it not confusing? The way that they're like, so for example, for me, like I think Georgia's too low. The SEC, the Alabama and Georgia didn't get a lot of respect, which I think that they will end up getting it. But it's weird right now. I don't know, like because let's be honest, dude. This thing's going to flip on its head week to week. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah. The 12 team will be fun, but I don't know if anything sticks out.
Is Indiana the 5th best team in the country?
We'll find out on Saturday.
That's exactly where we're going to go next. And you look at it, it could be weird for Indiana. If they lose this game by 2 touchdowns and they're a one-loss team and they beat Purdue, are they going to be out of the thing for a 3-loss SEC team?
Yeah.
I mean, let's say this was Michigan, who had the same schedule. They lost by 2 touchdowns to Ohio State, but beat Purdue the following week, and they were 1 loss. Do they get in? Is this a name thing?
Yeah.
I think it is too. We said it last week. It's a TV thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I mean, you look at the way things are going right now. The Big 12 is setting up for Colorado. Could probably face, maybe Arizona State. Kansas is a scary team facing BYU this week. Or not BYU. Kansas facing, I don't remember who Kansas is facing.
Kansas plays like a real team this week.
Yeah, and they face they face 6 ranked teams, and now Jalen Daniels' team is playing well, or he's playing well. Lance Leopold's been a hell of a coach. Kansas could be a spoiler. Big 12 setting up for Colorado to event. Oh, it's Colorado they're playing. They're playing Colorado. Colorado only 2.5 point favorites.
Like, you actually said the matchup.
Yeah, and then my mind went
I don't
blank.
know who they're playing. It's like you
Listen,
laid it out for us, dude.
Fetal alcohol syndrome, bud. It's just late, okay? My mom drank a lot when she was pregnant with me. She did coke too, and I've got pictures of that, which is fantastic. We're not going to post that one on our TikTok as I try to kill Drew here. But yeah, let's move on to our next segment here. Let's move on to Friends of Football. And today, Drew, you all right over
there?
Yeah. Today we welcome in, thankfully we got some friends to join us, but they weren't able to actually join us. So they said, hey, we're doing a new pod. Go ahead and rip some clips from it. So we're joined today by our friends from HoosierHuddle.com. Check them out, HoosierHuddle.com, at Hoosier Huddle on Twitter. They clearly cover Indiana. We're going to talk a little bit Ohio State, Indiana. This is a 2 and a 5. Everybody's there. College game day, Big Noon, who I'm sick of.
You love Big Noon, dude.
Big Ten tailgate. So we look at this game, Drew. This is a 2 and 5.
Sister Jean will probably be around campus.
Indiana has not beaten Ohio State since, Drew, what year were you born? 1987?
87, yeah, 87.
Okay, look at that. They haven't beat them since 1988. Basically, since Drew was born, he has cursed Indiana to not be able to beat Ohio State 29 straight times. But hey, how are they going to do it? What are the receivers like? Let's go to TJ Inman and Sammy Jacobs.
Their receivers' ability to make plays down the field against Ohio State's corners, Davison Igbinosun and Denzel Burke, both of whom are handsy and have been called for quite a few pass interference penalties. Oregon in particular really picked on Burke, and Evan Stewart had a huge day. I think that Indiana will look to stretch the field some, which you hope would then open up some things for the running game. I think that both teams.
Hard to argue anything what he said there. You look at Omar Cooper, Miles Price, Keyshawn Williams. They're guys who they can get rack yards against some of these Ohio State corners. We've seen it. But in order to do that, they're going to have to give Curtis Rourke enough time with JT Tuamolo, Jack Sawyer, Tyleek Williams, some of those big dogs up front. Drew, how do you think Indiana's receivers fare against Ohio State this weekend?
Well, so it's going to be tough to run the ball. I think the defensive line for Ohio State stepped up the last 4 or 5 weeks. This team, you watch the games. This team's clearly matured over the entire season.
They have.
There was holes, there was concerns I had. Those are kind of going away at this point. Ohio State has a very talented secondary. Of course they do, right? They're Ohio State. I think Indiana is going to be able to move the ball. You move the ball a little bit, but it comes down to the red zone for me. I think Ohio State's got enough to where we'll be able to keep them out. But I do expect it to be a up and down game, right? Because the teams are both going to be able to move the ball.
Absolutely. And when you talk red zone, these are the number one red zone offense against number one red zone defense in Indiana being the red zone offense. Ohio State's actually number 2. And then the number one red zone defense is Ohio State. Something you do have to worry about is the Seth McLaughlin injury. Seth McLaughlin, he was an midseason All-American. He coming from Alabama, had that bad snap issue last year. But he comes in. He's really the quarterback of that offensive line. He was probably going to be the finalist, if not the winner of the Remington Award this year. You lose him, you're either going to have to put in a backup center, move your left guard to center. And Indiana runs a lot of stunts. So when you talk about that pass game, Will Howard's going to see some guys in his face up the gut. You're going to have to move the pocket. The running game, you're right. It's going to have to be the running game. It's going to be tough to run the ball, but you're going to have to do it because you've got Quinshaw Judkins. You've got Travion Henderson. Why can't I say names tonight?
I mean, they're going to have to. I mean, that's their identity, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They run the ball, and then Will Howard becomes way better with play action when they can move some linebackers up. I mean, that's just the way their offense is set to be. Now, it hasn't been that all year. They've struggled to run the ball at times. But again, even with juggling the offensive line, Ohio State in those circumstances has done a good job of staying solid up front. This offensive line has grown even with having to kind of mismatch and put people in different places. And so for me, the main focus of this game and whether Ohio State wins or not is how would they do on the ground. That's what it comes down to me. And if they're successful and that'll make Will Howard successful, that's the deal. And so of course that entails the offensive line, stepping up and playing a good game.
I think Chip's going to be smart to get them running early to really get, you've got the new left tackle, you've got the new center, get those guys firing, hitting guys right off the bat. Don't have them dropping into pass sets right off the bat. Get them into the game. Let them feel mean. Let them feel physical. And this is a game that Ryan Day, these are the games where you see him struggle, where they need to be physical. This is a big game for Ryan Day because Curt Cignetti, listen, smoking cigs out there, he's going to be aggressive no matter what. And that could be the downfall of that Indiana team. Is he going to settle for field goals?
In the game?
No, he's smoking cigs. Just cigs. Cignetti.
No, I know. Oh, okay. I get the Is that dude smoking cigs on the sideline?
How fantastic would it be? No, he'd probably be vaping into his.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's even legal in 2024.
Probably not. It's probably frowned upon by the Big Ten. But hey, there's only one way to find out. So any of the Indiana boys want to try it, or Ohio State guys, why not? Let's try it. But I mean, Cignetti's aggressive. Is he going to take points when he's there, or is he going to be overly aggressive and go for touchdowns? I mean, on the Hoosier Huddle podcast, they talked 59 touchdowns to 8 field goals this year for Indiana. They go for the big points. But Ohio State, for them to win, to really win, they're going to have to keep dominating that middle eight. You look at what they did against Northwestern last week. They didn't score any points in the first quarter. And they took that final 8 of the second quarter, first 8 of the third quarter, and they dominated. And all of a sudden, they were up 28. I mean, what do you think the final score of this game is?
That's the issue. You can't just lay an egg in a quarter when it comes to these bigger style games. And you could do it against Northwestern. It's not an issue. I expect final, I will say 35-24 Ohio State. I do think there's points. And because I'm not sure that, again, Indiana has fantastic receivers. They've been able to move the ball all year. It'll come down to what Ohio State can do. So I do expect Ohio State to win, but I could see something in the 28-21, 35-24, something along those lines.
The thing with Curt Cignetti and Indiana is they do not stop coming at you. Whether they're up, whether they're down, that fourth quarter, they're going to dominate. So if you're looking for a random bet, hey, it could be Indiana plus points fourth quarter. So that was your prediction. I think Buckeyes win this game. I do think there's points. I'm thinking 31-21, somewhere around there. Let's see what the boys from Hoosier Huddle say. Let's go with TJ first.
I do think that ultimately matters a little bit. I will take Ohio State to win the game. I do think Indiana is going to give them all that they can handle. I think they're going to cover, and I think it will be a performance that is more than strong enough to lock up a playoff bid if they can handle their business against Purdue. So I'm going to go Ohio State winning this game. I think it's going to be
I mean, he said something in there that we talked about. He thinks they're going to lock up a spot in the college football playoff. I'm not so sure about that.
The other weird thing is the lines moved from 13.5 down to 10.
Is it 10 now? It was 11.5 the last time I looked. I was just going to mention that. 10. Is this a Seth McLaughlin kind of thing that we're worried about, or is this a lot of people pouring in money one way or the other? What do you think?
It's definitely people pouring in money. Okay. To me, though, now at 10, Ohio State's a bettable play. I can't take 13.5 because I do, to his point, I do think it's going to be a good game. And I do think Indiana, to your point, being aggressive, they're going to pull out all the stops. Like they know they need to have this one. If they get waxed completely, then yeah, the committee looks at that. We've talked about it for years. They look at blowout wins. So it's going to be fun. It just sucks it's at noon.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, the thing that kind of hurts Indiana, their best out of conference win, Charlotte probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks to do that because Kurt Signetti just got there. It's not like this team. Indiana football hasn't been shit in years. This is amazing that they're doing this. Well, if this wasn't Ohio State,
had good teams, but ever like Indiana's not a football school.
No,
just not.
I mean, who's the best player you can remember coming out of Indiana?
I have no idea.
Tevin Coleman's the only name that popped in my head. Oh, and Michael Penix, who went to Washington after like 7 Achilles injuries. But that's about it. And I only remember that because we talked about Falcons earlier. Yeah, I mean, are you betting? Do you have any bets on this game right now?
No, not yet.
So I moved the line down to -7.5. FanDuel had a 50%, profit bonus.
What? Can I ask you why though? 7.5 is just such a weird number to go to.
It is.
Why don't you go to 8.5?
I thought about it, and I was like,
7.5 is just weird.
I felt better. It was a gut feeling at 7.5 that just made me feel better. So when they win by 7, I can punch myself in the face. But I mean, $10, I got plus money on it. Why not? So let's see what Sammy says about this game.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. I think Indiana takes this one 31-27 over Ohio State. Yeah, it's going to be a raucous crowd, a raucous environment. Even though IU's played in the shoe before, it's kind of been a game that fans aren't really into, or they're into early and they leave. It's a big time
for them.
Yeah, this is a big time, going to be a big time football atmosphere.
I love how he started that. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. He had to talk himself into it. 31-27. Hey, this could be a fun game. Thanks to the boys, TJ Inman and Sammy Jacobs, the Hoosier Huddle. Check out HoosierHuddle.com. Follow them on Twitter or X, whatever it is, at Hoosier Huddle. Thank you, boys, for your help there. But, I mean, this game's weird. I mean, you said, we kind of both said it. As we move here into game picks, we'll start with this game. And I think we both said we're both going to Ohio State. When you look at this, the spread, double-digit, top 5 dogs, 14 times since 2014. 0-14 straight up, 5-9 against the spread. The last winner of a double-digit, top 5 dog was Auburn in the kick 6 game. Touchdown, Nick Chubb. Good to see Nick Chubb do that against the team that took him out last year. Plus, I had Nick Chubb anytime touchdown. So, D-Gen. We're both going same. We're both going Buckeyes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes. It's half homer, half mental. Honestly,
yeah. Same. Moving on to the next game, which is going to be kind of a homer pick kind of feeling for us because we both dislike one of these teams a lot, and we both love America. Number 19 Army against number 6 Notre Dame. Notre Dame -14.5 is the last I had here. Army's last win against Notre Dame, 1958. That's 15 straight wins versus Army. This is in Yankee Stadium, which I feel like Notre Dame fans and Yankee fans, same freaking people in my opinion.
They're also Lakers fans, and
they were Warriors fans.
Give me Army money line.
Army money line. That's big. Army hasn't faced anyone, and we both took Navy to beat Army.
I don't give a shit.
Army's triple option is different because they can throw the ball.
Bryson Daly's
a dog.
Too. It slows teams down too. You're not going to get whacked. So here's the problem I have is when they play Navy, and I also think Navy does a lot of the solid things as well. But Navy fumbled on the first 3 possessions, and it was like, so the problem is you can't get down big against a team. Like if you're gonna win this game, you got to stay in it. You got to immediately, because if you get too far down, these teams just can't come back.
Yep. Listen, I want to take Army. I really do. And you know what?
Take them.
I'm going to take them.
Yeah.
Because America.
Yeah,
America. You want to be Irish? Go back to Ireland, says the
Yeah.
guy who's like 38% Irish over here. But
Listen, if I lose my $12, so
at least I did it for America.
that's damn right. I'll fly.
And
I'll
I'm
fly my
proud
flag
to be
happily.
an American where
Damn
at
right.
least I know I'm free.
Be
This is
jamming
for
to
you,
it.
Lee Greenwood. I don't know how the hell I turned into Kids Rock's role from Joe Dirt there all of a sudden. You expect me to yell Def Leppard sucks. Moving on. Number 14, BYU at Arizona State. Arizona State is a 3-point favorite in this game, and they absolutely should be. Give me Arizona State in this one. Who you like, Drew?
Yep, agreed.
Boy, that was simple.
I think the BYU runs over.
BYU has like been that team that they're going to lose this week.
They're
They almost lost this week.
They're the mid. They're the mid major of Miami. They keep getting themselves into places where they have to keep coming back and keep coming back in these games, and yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like it. Look at us agreeing on everything.
Calling
So
them a
nice.
mid major is pretty disrespectful, but
I mean, Big 12 any day or these days. Who's left? SMU? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. We're going into week 12 of the NFL already, Drew. Week 12.
yeah, sucks.
12 weeks in.
Honestly.
6 teams enter week 12 with winning streaks of 4 or more, led by a team who's won 8 straight, which would be the team that you rep. But let's go first to this game. Panthers, 3-7. 10.5-point underdogs. They're welcoming in the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 9-1. Their first loss in 15 games. Who you like in this game, Drew?
I like Kansas City, but the Panthers are playing hard, and I respect that because like the season's been dog shit, but like they're playing hard. But give me the Chiefs here in a bounce back.
Myles Garrett strip sack and fumble recovery by the Cleveland Browns. And you know, Mike Tomlin has never won a road Thursday night football game in division.
I did see it, but so here's what I said to myself: all streaks come to an end, right?
Yeah. And the Browns
you
won
can't
like 8
have
straight.
it fucking forever.
I knew Myles Garrett was going to play well because him and the TJ Watt bullshit, which whatever. But guess Russ's hands aren't that big either, boys. But anyway,
little hand boy over there, Russie.
we're also going back to the Panthers. We're going to see Jonathan Brooks finally make his debut. For anyone who's stashed him away in fantasy,
Don't give a shit.
let's go.
You're still, yeah. Chuba Hubbard's been awesome.
He has.
And so I understand you have this young rookie from Texas, I believe, and you got a flashy item, but like,
Yep.
I'm rooting for the Panthers to keep playing well because I like Bryce Young, man. I don't think he's very good, but like I'm a root for him because I think they kind of dicked him over, and it's been a really tough ride there early on in Carolina.
Yes. And Canellis got the team looking. I mean, we talked about, Miami, you beating them. Like they were that bad where Georgia could beat them. We joked about it.
Just play hard, man. Just like they're playing hard, and I respect that.
Yeah, I'm going to take – I don't think Kansas City covers either. 10.5 because
I'll take the 10.5.
Kansas City never seems to cover these big spreads. I expect them to win. Okay, we'll see. I like that.
Let me say something real quick.
You do that, sir.
You know that Nick – you hear that Nick Wright scumbag calling Jared Goff a civilian?
Is Nick Wright the one
with the
dude
giant
has like
fucking Pinocchio nose?
And he's got like the
terrible hair.
Looks like the mom hair. Like, yeah, like
that
you'd expect to see him wearing a Goo Goo Dolls t-shirt and be that chick next to you screaming Iris.
That's him. That's him. No, he said that he not that I care what these scumbags say, but he was like, yeah, I just, the Lions can't be the best team in the league when they have a civilian playing quarterback. And it's
Aren't
like
all these people civilians.
It's like, okay, like pull up the numbers. The most civilian quarterback in the league this year has been Patrick Mahomes. His touchdown to interception ratio hasn't been good.
No.
And like I don't understand. Like that is crazy to me. Like Jared Goff is in this offense. This team's well equipped to win a Super Bowl. It's not like Jared Goff he's never asked to be the greatest quarterback in the league. He doesn't have to be.
Jared Goff just goes out there and does his job like everyone else on that team. So that, I mean, That is kind of ridiculous.
Scumbag. Civilian quarterback.
Speaking of average quarterbacks,
we're in some sort of a war in Russia. Like, all right, yeah. Speaking of quarterbacks, that's my bad. That was just a rant that I thought.
No, that's what we do, and I love it. The Vikings 8-2, led by Sam Darnold, who's kind of gone back to who we thought he was. Here's who we thought he was. There you go, Dennis Green. They're 3.5-point favorites. What the hell? I just reset my phone and almost paid for something here on Apple Pay. But anyway, this is a third straight road game for them. They're 3.5-point favorites at the Bears, 4-6, who lost last week on a last-second blocked field goal, which should have not been blocked because something illegal happened on that play, but it wasn't called. So the Packers won. Bears now 4-6. They look better on offense. Vikings 3 straight road games. I'm going to still take the Vikings in this one. Who you like?
So I like the Vikings. One thing, statistic that I heard earlier is over the first 10 games of a rookie's career, Caleb Williams has been sacked the second most. The only other person in front of him was David Carr.
Ooh.
That is ruining a young man
That
right
is.
there. That's a problem. Give me the Vikings.
Now, is that Caleb Williams holding on to the ball?
Well, it's both.
Is it?
Like
It
they're like, oh, we
You
got
already said it.
Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. It's like, well, the guy has 4.4 seconds to throw it, so we don't give a shit who you have.
Yep.
That's what has happened there. You build from the trenches, and the Bears are finding that out the hard way.
Hey, we talked about it last week. Build from the trenches.
That's all you
Titans 2-8. Will Levis playing a little better. They're 7.5-point dogs to the Texans, who are now 7-4. The Texans, who won last week after facing the Lions for the first time, but they had the benefit of facing the gutless Dallas Cowboys at home.
Yeah.
Texans cover. Do you think they win? Who you like?
Texans win, but they don't cover.
I agree.
There's not. I listen. The Texans are 7-4. There's something not right going on with that team right now.
CJ Stroud just isn't the same dude he was last year, but they're getting penalty. Laramie Tunsil being the most penalized player in the league.
That's me smoking.
Gas mask, baby. Listen, it's phenomenal. Like the day of the draft, how does that come out? But Tunsil he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's been amazing. He's just making mistake after mistake. He cost me money last week because he got a penalty for being a legal man downfield on that Nico Collins first play where they had a touchdown. They're just shooting themselves in the foot, but somehow Joe Mixon's pulling it out. Defense is okay enough, and they're 7-4, and they should move to 8-4 after this game. Lions 9-1, 7.5-point favorites against the Colts, who are 5-6 and hanging on to their playoff life by a thread. Anthony Richardson back last week. He did look better. He's running tough. He was running, and every time he got hit, he'd pop right back up. He wasn't running the sideline to take a little breather or anything. Is this a game the Lions lose just because they're bound to lose a game? Lions winning this one, do they cover?
I don't think this is. Like, to me, you break down what the Lions do best. They're the best rush defense in the entire league. Anthony Richardson can't really throw the football. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can run the football, but that's what we do best. Now, it's definitely tough to have Alex Anzalone out because he's kind of the general of that defense, but I think Jack Campbell will take over. I think the Lions win this game. I'm going to take him to cover the spread. I'm done questioning the shit. I'm done questioning, 13.5 points against Jaguars. No. What they're doing is they're taking care of business against teams they should take care of business of. And, yeah, I'll take the Lions and I'll take the points.
Agree with you wholeheartedly. Stop doubting the Lions because they take that team's identity is that of their head coach. And if you've seen that dude, he's 100% who he is at all times, and that's what the Lions are doing right now. The Anzalone thing. I want to talk about Alex Anzalone because that dude, he was a dog at Florida. He was just always injured. And then he went to the Saints, and he struggled because he was injured. And then he found a home in Detroit, and that kid's been playing his ass off. So props to him for fighting through.
It's a broken arm. Like that's not like that's just a random ass injury. Mm-hmm. You know, he's been really, really good for the Lions.
He has been. And props to him because I thought he was a hell of a player in college. It's just those injuries always destroyed him. And the Lions last week where people like, can they cover 13.5? I think it was 14.5 at kickoff or on some books. And they're like, what, 52-6?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. they were fine. Also, the Cleveland Browns have no faith in their kicker at this point, but can't blame them.
Can I bring up something real quick?
That's what you do. Let's go.
The first drive of the Browns game, they had 4th and 4 from the Pittsburgh, I think 40, and they punt. Why? You're 2-8. What are we doing?
Would you go for it, or would you kick the field goal?
Oh no, go no.
Okay.
I don't think it was field goal worthy just because of the conditions out there. You go for it. Like, why not? Who the hell cares? You're on your home field. You have your rival, your division opponent on here, and it's the first drive of the game. You took the ball. Why not? And you know what they did? They punted, and the other team got it to 22. So you gave up 18 yards. Great job.
Hey,
That's it.
I got no argument on it other than the only idea I can think that would be a kind of a idea from Stefanski would be, hey, we want to win this game because we want to win one more game in front of our home crowd. But, hey, I'd rather see him go for it too. And now all of a sudden they're bringing out Dustin Hopkins after a timeout. 34-yard field goal. He missed like a 32 and a 27 last week. Anyway, New England Patriots 3-8. They're at the Dolphins 4-6. Dolphins 7-point favorites. They're winners of 3 straight, I believe, or 2 straight at this one. Drake May has played pretty damn good football, and he's got no one around him.
No.
So I would like to say that the Dolphins don't cover this, but there's just no one around him right now. So I think Drake May is going to play his ass off, look really good, do everything he can to put his team into a shot of winning. But Dolphins cover this one. Give me the Dolphins and the points.
Yeah, I'll take the Dolphins to win, but I'll take the Patriots to cover.
Nice. Bucks 4-6, 5.5-point favorites against the Giants and Tommy Cutlitz. Now, Tommy Cutlitz, based on statistics or whatever, you can turn it into analytics. He cost his team like 6 points a game, one of the worst quarterbacks statistically, analytically ever last year. And he screwed over a Pizza Hut or something and then fired his agent or booking agent, whatever. He's back. They skip over Drew Lock, and Drew Lock is the perfect place for Shrek fans. Mike Evans could be back, and if the Bucks win this one, they got an easy schedule kind of down the stretch. This could be a big game for them. Bucks 5.5-point favorites into the New Jersey, into the swamp. Who you like?
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
I like Bucks and the cover.
Sorry, Tommy DeVito.
A boopity boppity. Learned how to speak Italian from watching Family Guy. Cowboys 3-7 at the Commanders. Commanders 10.5-point favorites. Now, you and I earlier this year, probably in August, were looking at these schedules and saying, you know, come November, I definitely see the Cowboys being 10.5 dogs to the Commanders.
I thought I said that before, but
I mean,
yeah.
We've said it. I don't know if anyone else. We were ahead of the curve. The thing is, Jaden Daniels hasn't looked like the same player in a while. Is
Correct.
He hurt?
Well, it's since the injury.
Dan Quinn
the
said
issue
he's
with
not
Jaden
hurt.
Daniels is he's kind of been afraid to use his legs since the rib injury, and that's just that was one of the weapons that they had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Terry McLaurin was nowhere to be seen last week.
Quinton Mitchell shut him down.
They did. Cooper Rush too threw for over 300 yards, I believe. I might have made that up, but I'm pretty sure he did.
He threw for more than he did the week before.
Yeah,
that is a guaranteed stat.
But yeah, I still like the Commanders. I think, you know, me and my buddies were talking about it. So the Cowboys right now are at 3-7. Their over under is 5.5. I like the under. They do play the Giants and the Panthers. Now the Giants, I could say they might win that game, but like the Panthers, they're still trying to win games. The Panthers are going to be trying to win games no matter what because they're young. They're not going to just completely tank like the Giants. But it's like the Giants and Cowboys. That's a tank job from both teams. So if you're into betting, maybe the under the 5.5 for the Cowboys might be your
That's
thing.
the 4:30 game on Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yeah,
nap time.
Yeah,
no, I mean it's still football on Thanksgiving, but damn, but. Talking about Jaden Daniels, yeah, maybe he's not running as much since the injury, but this is also typical Cliff Kingsbury, where his teams in the second half of the season, it's like their offense gets figured out. And maybe it is an offense that is a college offense like the Bengals said before they got torched. But is it Cliff? Is it Daniels being hurt, even though they say he's not? I don't know. Give me the Commanders. I don't know about the cover, though. That's 10.5 points, man. That's a lot of points. We lost Drew for a second there.
Well,
still around, bud?
Yeah.
Where'd your face go?
Can you
I
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah. Your face just disappeared. Now, hey, whoa. Peekaboo. There you
Sorry
are.
about that. I don't
That's
know
all
what I
right.
did.
You were like, I'm going to take that nap for the Giants and Cowboys game now. We're
Yeah.
moving on to the 405, and we were talking about Jaden Daniels a second ago. Is he being caught up as far as the Offensive Rookie of the Year rankings or ratings or betting lines, anything, by Bo Nix and the wild card Broncos, who are 6-5 and 6.5 point favorites at the Raiders, who are 2-9?
I don't think so right now, but I mean, Jaden Daniels to start the season was fantastic.
Mhm.
Now the Broncos, and I think that they have the opportunity to do this year. I think they can come out and lay the thump on the Raiders, because the Raiders are a unmitigated disaster at this point. So give me the Broncos, give me the points. I mean, Bo Nix he's been good.
Every week, I want to say,
Cortland Sutton's been good.
yes, he's back. Every week I say, hey, Max Crosby can take over a game. Christian Wilkins can take over a game. Gardner Minshew can have that game. I'm done saying, like, give me the Broncos and the points. And Antonio Pierce, you were a hell of an interim. Best luck next year, wherever you are. 425 game. The Niners, the fraudy Niners, as some people have called them, 5-5 at the Packers, 7-3. Packers 1.5 point favorites. They're 7-3, but they're And won a couple games thanks to Malik Wills there. But this is the first time in 2024 that the Niners are actually underdogs. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, give me San Francisco.
And the points?
Yeah, I even take the money line, honestly. Okay. The Packers, Jordan Love's been fine. I just think that offense is an offense that's going to turn the ball over, and I think they do that. I think that again, San Francisco's got a good defense. The offense has been tough because for the offense they've lost. Like you start the season, you lose McCaffrey immediately. Ayuk's out for the season. George Kittle's been in and out of the lineup. You like Jawan Jennings has been like their savior. But I think the Niners win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think it's going to be a good game.
I also hate the Packers.
I think Packers run the football. Josh Jacobs, let's get like 6 tutties this week. Josh Jacobs could use that. For the Niners, like ever since Nick Bosa's injury, the defense hasn't been the same. Like you said, on offense, everyone's been hurt. Juwan Jennings, who was a former quarterback at Tennessee, he's been a hell of a wide receiver. And kind of wish I didn't trade him to my kid in fantasy for DJ Chark, who MIA still. But hey, got my kid into football, so whatever. Arizona Cardinals, who are the leaders of the NFC West, they're 1.5 point favorites. They're coming off bye. They're at the Seahawks, who are 5-5. If the Seahawks win this, it is possible that going into next week, there could be a 4-way tie for first place in the NFC West at 6-4. I like the Cardinals in this one. I like what Jonathan Gannon's been doing. They're coming off bye. And I think Kyler Murray could be in the MVP convo, which I never thought I'd say because I've never been a big Kyler Murray fan. He'd probably be 4th on my ballot right now.
I'll take Seattle.
Okay. 1.5 point? No,
although their offense has been like Geno Smith's been kind of turning the ball over a ton.
Yes.
Like he's probably needs to stop doing that for my bet next week.
Tyler Lockett kind of disappeared all of a sudden. JSN stepped up, gets 30% of the targets all of a sudden.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf's injury hasn't helped. Kenneth Walker's been inconsistent. I mean, Noah Fant's still on that team, right?
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
People still drafting that guy in fantasy football?
I mean, I think I played him probably one of these weeks. My fault team.
That could be a really fun under the radar game right now. Is that one in the 4:00 window at 4:25? Moving on to the 2 Sunday night football and Monday night football games here. Both of them at SoFi. So everyone gets to hang out in LA and stay at SoFi. I'm getting sick of seeing that stadium. Yeah, it's a gorgeous stadium, but I feel like it's on national TV.
How cool would it be if like a team that was there like sold out the crowd and it was like an awesome environment?
Exactly.
Like, then SoFi would be cool, but like it's the most high tech, coolest stadium in football, but nobody gives a shit.
So just going to bring that up, and the fact that the Eagles, who travel in at 8-2 with their corners playing excellent, as we talked earlier, Quinyon Mitchell amazing against Terry McLaurin, Cooper DeJean was ranked as the number one corner by PFF, not only the number one white corner, might be the only white corner, but also the number one corner overall, which is insane to think about. They're traveling in to face the Rams 5-5. It's going to be Rams D-line versus Eagles O-line that really win this. But the last time the Eagles were there at a 425 start, the Rams had to go on a silent count at home, which just proves your point. How loud it got. Maybe an 8:20, night game. Maybe that changes things, but I still expect a ton of Eagles fans there. A lot of people saying take the Rams in this.
Yep. Those people are smart.
You're taking the Rams?
I think Jalen Hurts is just mediocre as shit, dude.
I don't think he needs to really do anything in this one. I think it's run the ball, get the ball to your... Devontae Smith, he was on the injury report allegedly today.
Rams are healthier. Stafford has people to actually throw the ball to. Give me the Rams.
I want to take the Rams because I need Matt Stafford and some of those players to have a good week. But this is a team that looked bad against the Dolphins. Then they look good against the Patriots, which everyone seems to do. I'm going to take the Eagles to go to 9-2. Monday Night Football, the Harbaugh Bowl. 3-point.
Oh, shit.
Spread
I
here.
didn't even realize that.
Yeah. The Ravens 7-4 coming off an 18-16 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that, even though these two teams have been very good on offense, somehow went back to their 2010 games. The Chargers 7-3. Herbert playing like a dog. Chargers D gets Mac back. I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. Who do you like?
Excuse me. Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Okay, Ravens.
Yeah.
This
is going to be fun. Justin Herbert's playing his ass off right now, by the way.
And you know how much we love Justin Herbert here. This is a Herbert hive.
That's right.
This is where they go. Moving on, the way we end every show, we go to Drew Ward. Ward's wagers, 2-2 last week, 159, 98-5 over the past 3 seasons. Drew, who do you got?
Yeah, give me the Homer Lions. Yeah, Drew's a Homer. He's going to take the Lions. I'm going to ride the Lions until they stop making me want to do that. So give me them. I'm also going to take the Ravens -3 on the road. We just talked about that game. I like the Ravens. I also like the Niners on the road plus the 3. So give me Niners. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Lions.
3 picks there. Usually I'm 100% on with you, but I picked against you in 2 of those games. So could be interesting.
Shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that. I should know better. Look at your record. It speaks for itself. Brother Drew, before we get out of here tonight, anything else you want to chit-chat about?
That's it, man. I look forward to next week we're off, right? Because next week we have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Lions play 2 games in 5 days. Pumped about that. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Same to you.
And then, of course, we'll get back rolling the next week.
And happy birthday to you this weekend. I believe your birthday's this weekend, right? Saturday or Sunday?
It's Sunday. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we'll be watching lots of football and not feeling bad about it.
Isn't that nice?
It's the best.
It's so nice. I miss those days. Feels like it was only last year where I could watch my team and feel good about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your team's leading right now. It's 10-3.
Hey, we're winning a meaningless game, but hey, we're beating the Steelers in a game
it's not
where half our
meaningless,
stadium.
dude. You're playing the Steelers.
It is.
Nothing's meaningless.
That's why
you're
right. That's why I said I wanted to win this one. And Miles Garrett is playing like a dude who cares because last week
he won a goose egg over the stat line.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I thought they'd win that game because I thought Miles Garrett could get to Derek Carr. And instead they're like, we're not even going to use Derek Carr. Here's Mormon Tebow.
Is Taysom Hill the greatest player that's ever played football?
He is. 100%. That's the way he looked last week. And you know what?
Forever.
If the Steelers remember that, see a lot of Justin Fields in the second half of this game, possibly. Who knows? Hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Drew, have a good birthday weekend.
Appreciate
Everyone else, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Whatever you're doing, be safe out there. Enjoy. And hey, people in Ohio, when it snows, you've done it before. Shit. And with that, remember, as always, if you live the life you love, you'll love the life you live. Good night, kids. This shit was off.